Hey everyone, this is Jules. I'm going to be sharing a dish today with you guys. Kind of a last minute decision to even bring it over to do a video for it, but I haven't done a cooking video in a long time, so today I'm going to be making some enchiladas, and they're really easy. There's really nothing much to it. I'm going to be doing something very simple that anybody can do. I have people, when I'm invited to parties or a birthday party, people ask me, can you bring some enchiladas? Can you bring some enchiladas? So I know that it tastes pretty good, so I'm going to share it with you. I think you kind of have to go with how many people you have in your family, and it normally feeds my family of 4, and I'm having my mom and dad come over tonight. So first thing you want to do is get your chicken, put it in a pot. You want to boil it, and I boil it for probably about an hour. Like halfway through the cooking time, you want to flip it over to get the breasts soaked in with the juices and stuff, so that it softens up that meat, because the breast can come out dry. So I have mine already boiled, and I took it out of the pot. I also put about a quarter to a half an onion for one chicken, just for flavoring, and I do add salt to it. So you may want to do that and flavor your water just a little bit, or you can do it after. That way you can kind of measure how much seasonings you're putting in it. So I do season salt, sometimes garlic salt. This time I just did regular salt and the quarter onion. And basically I do get another dish. I put this in a plate to cool down for a while because I don't like to handle it hot. I let it cool down just a little bit. So I'm gonna get another plate, and all you want to do is, I like to keep the onions, my hands are clean too, by the way. Oh, almost forgot, take off your jewelry. I do like to have my garlic and onions or whatever else I put in there. You can also throw a carrot if you want to, and some celery to flavor your chicken a little bit more. It's totally up to you. I'm just grabbing the onions and stuff. So I always take out my chicken when it's falling apart. So I end up taking the body, and then I have to fish for the wings and fish for the legs and stuff. So I just pull it apart. I mean, get your hands dirty, and it really is better that you do it by hand, because this way you're not going to miss out on your chicken meat. So you want to get all the meat that you can. It's kind of hard to dig in the small spots, but I mean, if you're a little bit frugal like I am, or a little bit picky too, I tend to gently peel off everything, and I get all the meat that I can get. I don't like to waste my meat. It's like the bones, I strip it completely off. So this is our dinner. I'm also making some fresh beans that my husband actually wanted. I don't like doing beans all the time, just because it's a very aesthetic food. But if you guys want a tutorial on how to do that, how I do that, Lisa makes the best beans. Lisa's my sister-in-law. She's more like my sister than anything, though. I'm closer to her than I am my brother, but she makes the most delicious beans, and I use the exact same stuff that she does, and it still doesn't come out exactly the same, so go figure. So this is a wing. So I go through this, and it takes me probably about 20 minutes to 30 minutes to get all the meat off of, and it's easier too when you let it cool down. Then you can handle it better. And I peel the skin off first, and I leave it all in the chunks because I end up shredding it way finer when I'm done. I just want to get all the meat right now. So let me share with you guys when I'm going to peel this whole thing, and then I'll show you guys what to do after that, so I can show you how I season my meat and get it ready for the stuffing. Okay guys, so I've got all of the meat off of the bone, and this is what it looks like basically when you're done. They're just really big chunks. The breasts, I ended up cooking for another half hour, breast side down in the broth, and they actually came out very, very, very tender. I mean, it's just nice and soft and juicy and stuff. So basically this is what you want to do is, I'd like to shred it kind of small. I know Lisa likes to do just like bite size, like she'll leave them probably like this or something, and you can do that too, because it's easier if you put it, when you put it in the tortilla, and you're laying them in there in these chunks, they will most likely stay in the tortilla a lot more easier because they're not little bits where they'll just fall out the sides. So that's how she likes to do it. But since I'm going to add a little bit of stuff in here, I'm going to end up breaking it down just a little bit more. And if you already have like already little pieces in there, like a little piece that, you know, like that, you just leave it alone. You just want to break down the bigger chunks. Oh, here's part of the breast. This is a really soft meat, so it came out excellent. Like I said, I cooked mine for about an hour. So my family is from Peru. Great, awesome food in Peru. My uncle was an excellent chef. He made all the dishes and everything for parties and birthday parties and weddings and just family reunions. He cooked for the masses. I mean, really did an excellent job. I miss him, and I wish I actually got to cook with them in the kitchen more. He had me peeling some lettuce leaves one time for a dish called papaloancaina. If you're Peruvian or from South America, you probably know what that is. So it's a kind of a salad with the potato, some white cream sauce, excellent. Oh my god, cream sauce is so good. And so the potato and the eggs and olives and stuff is all sitting on top of a beautiful green leaf of lettuce. And I remember he was telling me, you know, to peel them very carefully, to keep them as whole as possible. And when I was done, he was like, "That you did a good job." And yeah, I was like 10 years old, so, and I was already cooking by that time. I started cooking when I was about 7 or 8. And yeah, my mom had me make and remake and make and remake again and again. White rice is a big dish in Peru, so white rice was the first thing I learned how to cook. And I think it was Aunt Anna's too. So these enchiladas are green. They're going to be my green chicken enchiladas, meaning the sauce that I'm using is the green sauce. And I love one particular kind. I have used other green enchilada sauces in the past, but I love Las Palmas. Las Palmas green enchilada sauce is very flavorful. So now I have it all broken down. You guys have sat through with me pretty much. Okay, I found a little piece of a ligament or something. You don't want that stuff in there. You want all the meat. The best part too, one of the best parts I think about making enchiladas is when you're doing it for your family and you have a small family like I do, like just me and my husband and my daughter, I can do one tray of enchiladas and it will be really nice chunky enchiladas, so I can stuff them, make them really nice and big. Not that I skimp on my meat portions, but you know what I mean. Alrighty, so that's all shredded up. So you see the difference here between what it was before and now what it is, what it looks like. So I don't see any more big chunks. I think this is good. So this is the chicken enchilada sauce that I use. This is Las Palmas green chili enchilada sauce, and it is the medium. So of course, if you are into something a lot more spicier, you may want to get a hotter version, or you can add it into this. So this is what it looks like. Wish we had smell-o-vision. This is what the chicken broth looks like with all the little bits and pieces in it. I'm going to add a half a cup at a time to make 1 full cup into the chicken. And I'm going to do a half a cup of the enchilada sauce in the chicken as well. And sometimes I put a little bit more if I feel like it needs it, but I think that it's going to give it some really good flavor. I'm also going to add some seasonings. First here, I'm going to use some seasoned salt. And what you want to do is make sure that you're tasting as you go, so you don't over season or over salt it. Here's some garlic salt, as well with some parsley flakes and some ground cumin. Cumin is like one of the richest, flavorful seasonings that you can add to any poultry. Has an awesome taste to it. So I'm just going to mix it really, really well. And this will break down a little bit more until I have the texture of it being a chunky, kind of a pasty chicken. And it's just going to make it easier for me to stuff and roll my tortillas with. All right, let's fry some tortillas. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have a skillet. This is a flat skillet that I do pancakes and stuff on this. And we're going to do the oil in the pan and get it really nice and hot. This is my little handle so I don't burn my fingers. Okay. And you can use whatever skillet or pan or whatever that you have. You don't have to use a skillet. I just use it because I have it and I like the way that it, I don't know, it's easier for me this way. You want to have off to the side a plate or some dish with your paper towel so that you can sit your tortillas on. Now when you start seeing some of the smoke come up from the skillet, then you know that it is nice and hot, and you can always test it if you want to. I'm going to test it for you so you can see how I do it. I'm using some tongs. Okay, you hear that and you see that? That means it's really nice and hot. So gonna be very careful. I've done this several times before so it doesn't burn me or bother me. But that's as fast as you want to do it. And then you just, but that's it, it's done. It's where it's like nice and limp, and this makes it a lot more pliable. Set it in your plate. Just so you see, this is how I'm setting it down. And it's just going to drain in, and all the oils will sit in the paper towels. So after about 4 or 5, you're going to have to put a little bit more oil in there because it's obviously soaking it all up. So I have my stack of tortillas, and after they cool down and stuff, they're just very easy to manipulate and stuff. So I just basically get some parchment paper or wax paper, doesn't matter, and I set it on my cutting board. And I have, like, my mom's shredding some cheese right now for me, but you can either cut slivers, little sticks of cheese, and place them in here on top of your tortilla if you want to, or you can shred it, or whatever's easier for you. You can do the little stick. I think it would be easier to do it with a little stick, but since I need them shredded anyways, I'm gonna do the shredded. So we have the chicken that is, after stirring it up with the seasonings and stuff, it gets almost like it's pasty kind of, and it's just easier for it to sit, like it'll mold to the tortilla. So you kind of you just kind of put as much as you want on there. Make sure that you wash your hands before you do touch your food though. You can also use some diced onions, like raw onions, and stick it in here if you want to, but since I already cooked the onions with the chicken, it's all ready to go and already mixed with the chicken. So when you're folding and making your enchiladas, you want to fold over and tuck this piece here, like tuck it and tighten it, and then roll it. And some stuff sometimes falls off the ends, but it's not a big deal. When the chicken is pasty like that, it holds and stays in a lot easier. I'll show you the pan when I'm done rolling all of them. So here we go again. Add in, like I said, your cheese, your onions if you want to, and then most importantly your meat. And you can do this with ground beef too. I have another enchilada recipe that I'll probably share with you guys using some hormel chili. I don't know if you guys have ever seen enchiladas made with hormel chili, but I think it tastes really good. It's a favorite of my nephews especially. Anthony, whenever I go down to LA to visit, he's always asking, hey Thea, are you gonna make some of the hormel chili enchiladas? And so he loves it. He's always requesting it, and everybody else knows that he'll ask me, and I always try to make it for him before I go, so it's kind of fun that way. So I'll share that recipe with you guys later, but for now, this is how you roll your enchiladas. So again, just pinch the very top part back, like underneath the meat, since it's forming the tube, and then you roll it and you're done. All right, so I'm gonna finish my pan, and then I'll share with you guys what I do after. Okay, so the leftover sauce that was in the Las Palmas can, I stuck it in a saucepan and then like a cup of the chicken broth to mix up again. And I'm gonna mix it up and warm it up just a little bit to kind of get the cooking process going. Basically everything is cooked. The chicken was cooked, the tortillas were fried. This needs to get warmed up, so then we coat the enchiladas with the sauce, cover it with some cheese, put it in the oven for about 20-25 minutes. Depends on how much cheese you put on it. And if you're half mouse, half human, then most likely you're going to have a lot of cheese on your enchiladas. So there we go. We're going to do I'm going to put it on the stove for a little bit and let it warm up, and then I'll put it on there on top of the enchiladas and show you guys what it looks like. This is what it looks like here. Now I have 7 tortillas on each side, each row. And in the past, I used to stack them, like do 2 different stacks, but I don't like that the sauce doesn't get down to the bottom ones. So I always separate them and put them into 2 pans, which I have here. So there's 7, 14, 28 enchiladas altogether. So you want to make sure that when you're cooking one whole chicken for about a party of 5, you want to do at least 30 to 32 tortillas, because it depends. If you stuff them a lot, then you're going to have less enchiladas. But if you stuff them just moderately and do probably 7 enchiladas in each row, then you're probably going to be able to use all of the tortillas. So it just depends on how much you stuff it. The thinner, the more enchiladas you can have, but the fatter, the less enchiladas, but the more full enchiladas you'll have. So that is that. And now I have just a mixture of the leftover enchilada sauce and chicken broth. And again, it's the chicken broth that is from the pot when I cooked the chicken to begin with. So I don't want the sauce to be too hot where I can't handle if it falls on my hand or whatever. So basically I do this. I want to distribute as much as I can, and you can do this if you want to pour it in there. You can also use like a measuring cup, but I like it where it's like pulled, where there's like juice all up on the enchiladas. That way it cooks, it gets really soft. And it just depends on if you want them, if you just want a little bit of the sauce in it, or if you want a lot of the sauce on it. You can do either or. Your cheese that you want to use is anything that you want, like shredded Parmesan if you want to, along with some cheddar. I think cheddar is a lot more traditional. I mix mine with either cheddar, medium or sharp cheddar, mixed with Monterey Jack cheese or mozzarella cheese. It's up to you again. It doesn't really matter. And I think that there are a lot of other cheeses out there that you can use. There are Mexican cheeses out there that have a stinkier smell to it, but they're really good cheeses. Now that I have full cheese coverage, I'm going to get my olives ready and top it. Okay, so olives will come in a can that has sliced, whole, and diced and chopped. So I ended up having a can that was whole olives, so I just sliced them up and just put them on top randomly. So this is 2 pans, and in case you're wondering why that's missing, it's because Anna doesn't like olives, so I have to make sure that she's got a couple that are just hers. So you put it in the oven for about 20 minutes and turn it off when it's done, and just let it sit there and cool down a little bit. While I'm cooking my rice, I do that and leave my enchiladas in there for a little while longer. So yeah, that's basically it. This is enchiladas, and I'll show you the finished plate when I'm done. So here's my finished plate, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the demo, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'm hoping to do a few more demos in the kitchen this year, so we'll see how that goes. But if you have any questions, leave a comment or something, or email me, okay? I think I'll be doing the demo on the beans soon, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys later. Jule signing out of the Jule box. Bye, you guys.